Hello everybody, Silverbusters here, coming at you with another video. Today, it's just the coverage of the basically 2 days of paper market manipulation. The market has just been monkey hammered. When you look at the amount of paper contracts, future promises to deliver of silver, it's just been ridiculous. The amount that they dumped on the market, the price has dropped. The paper price has dropped $2 an ounce, roughly, and honestly, it's just a huge buying opportunity because inflation adjusted, silver is still nowhere near any type of high, whereas we've seen oil make huge recoveries. We've seen copper pushing into new territories. Obviously, lumber and other resources are moving up, but silver remains suppressed, mainly due to the interests of the large banks who don't want the public at large to start to understand just how drastic the inflation we're experiencing is. We're getting official inflation prints from the government of 4 and 5%, something like that. But realistically, come on. This is just generic 1 ounce rounds, and I got a great deal on it. My local coin shop matched the deal I found online, and within a very short period of time, the deal I found that I got on the match on the website was gone. The price actually had dropped more. The price had dropped another 20 cents since I locked in my deal, but their premium went up 75 cents. So the great irony is, on a day where the silver price, in air quotes, goes down, the premium for the real physical metal is going up. Doesn't that mean there's a shortage somewhere? If the premium is going up, I thought the price of something goes down when there's an overabundance of it, and it goes up when there's not enough of it. But that really doesn't seem like that's the situation today. It's so much, corrupt madness in the paper markets with the big banks, that it's just sickening. And really the only thing that counters this in the long run is draining the physical market. And today provided us an excellent opportunity to head into the markets and continue draining the physical supply of silver until the powers that be come to their senses or completely collapse. It's an amazing hole that they have to dig out of, and I don't even think it's possible. When you look at the box that the Federal Reserve is in, like this whole event that supposedly precipitated this downward movement in the silver price is an announcement by the Federal Reserve that sometime 2 years from now, they might do 2 interest rate hikes. Okay, which, might be 0.5% of interest charged at the lowest kind of level within the banks. So if inflation is printing at 5%, how much is a 0.5% change in an interest rate that's set to 0 really going to have? Even if the U.S. Treasury rate goes up from, where it's at, 1.5, 1.75, up to 2 or 2.25, does it really matter because you're still getting a guaranteed loss, an absolute guaranteed loss in the paper products, right? So if you hold that 10-year treasury, if you hold it for, the 10 years, you're losing that 2-3% a year guaranteed to inflation. And that's if you believe the official government inflation rates. When I go down to the store and pork sausage goes from $1.50 to $2 overnight, that's that's 33% inflation. That's the kind of inflation that's out there in the real world. When we go to the gas station, when we go to the grocery store, when you go look at housing prices, those are all the sort of things that we're actually running into in there. So I doubled down. I got more silver. It's all just generics, and it's kind of all over the place, but I really don't care because it's silver, it's AG, and they don't have it. They think they have it. They think they've got as much paper silver as they want. They think they can just dump a year's supply of silver on the market overnight and think we won't take notice. But everybody on the Wall Street Silver subreddit, none of them were freaking out. None of them were downtrodden. None of them were worried. Almost all of them were excited. There was a few people saying, man, I'm all in already. But most other people were like, wow, now I can get a discount. I was planning to buy some in the future, but now I can buy more right now. And it's just crazy. It seems like it's desperation time at the Federal Reserve with the inflation just boiling. Those idiots in charge, they don't know anything. They don't know any history. They don't know anything about real economics. They're so privileged. They're so disconnected. They think they're better than you and me and everybody else in the real world because they have this privilege of being able to print money, and they think they're so much smarter than everybody else, and they're just corrupt as all ends. The amount of money that gets printed and funneled into, the top couple of percent of people at the top of big government contracts and big banks and CEO bonuses and all this other ridiculous stuff. They're the first people at the trough. They're the people that have access to low interest loans. Ordinary people don't have access to low interest loans, maybe outside of a mortgage, but even a mortgage is going to be high 3, 4 something percent, something that's closer to the inflation rate. It's not the kind of sweetheart deals that these corrupt politicians and bankers just, give themselves, and they can make money off of, it's legal for them to trade on inside information that they have. So if you're a politician and a certain thing is going to happen because you have security clearance, well, you can just trade on it and make a bunch of money for yourself because fuck everybody else, right? You don't have to play by the rules. And that's where we're at. And so, just burn it down. Buy silver is how we burn it down legally and justly, in setting up the system for what comes next, right? That's really the most important thing, because when push comes to shove, if you don't have real valuable assets, history shows you what's going to happen to you in Venezuela, in Weimar Germany, in Zimbabwe, in ancient China, in ancient Greece. We have all of these examples where the currency was debased, or paper money was printed, and it just eroded the economy over time until it completely destroyed it. And they think that they're smarter than everybody else, and they're not. They're just repeating history with a slightly different verse in it that rhymes this time, and they're going to do it again. So my personal opinion, which is not financial advice, is to take this opportunity, because there's not going to be very more opportunities like this. We may never see this 25, 26 region again. I know I could be wrong. It could go down into the 20s, and we had that spike down at the start of COVID to 12, but of course you had to pay 15 to get anything at those times. But how long did it stay at 12, right? If you blinked and didn't pay attention to the price for a few days, it had tremendously recovered. And then a few months later, it was charging off to a new bull market already. And that's the kind of situation we're in. So, take this as an opportunity, double down, and to deplete the stocks of these madmen that have control of the system currently, because we know how it ends. If you're any kind of student of history, printing money does not lead to happy unicorns and rainbows and hugs and happiness. It leads to, war and deprivation and starvation and disease and hunger and all of those things. So you need to protect yourself, and not just with silver. Try buying ammunition or food right now. It's all going up in price, and now's the time to start. Anyway, guys, this has been Silver Busters. I'm going to let you go from now. Get onto the Wall Street Silver subreddit if you have any questions. There's a tremendous community there that's willing to help you out and to give you reinsurance, and just to give you ideas and suggestions about how to handle this situation. This is Silver Busters signing off.